Hi, I'm Carlos, and thank you for joining us for the Weekly Word Online today. Let's talk about mistakes. You make them, I make them, we all make them. Now, mistakes are usually often done by accident. We don't, plan certain things to go certain ways, and we make mistakes. Maybe we make a mistake by saying something, or we make a mistake by assuming. Sometimes we make assumptions, and we don't mean anything by it, but we make the mistake of saying something kind of uninformed, and whatever the case may be. It's a challenge in life, isn't it? I mean, we do not have mistake-free lives. That's why pencils are made with erasers. That's why anybody who draws, they'll tell you to start sketching with a pencil first, and then you put your inks and your paints on later, right? Because you're more sure of the piece of work that you're doing. But obviously, we all, make mistakes. I read a story about an entertainer. I really didn't know about him. And he's a bit before my time, probably a bit before yours too. His name was Will Rogers. And apparently he was an expert at doing rope tricks. I don't know much about ropes. He knew how to make a lariat, I guess, and all this other stuff. But what was interesting about his story was he was doing a show, and he was going to show everyone all his, rope tricks. He was an expert at it. And in one of the shows, he decided he was going to do a certain rope trick. And in the middle of doing the rope trick, his rope got completely tangled. He made a mistake, I don't know, in how he approached it or how he tied the rope. And it was really kind of like a wreck, right? Like even recording these videos that we do for you here online, we're making mistakes. You don't see all of them. And sometimes you might see some of them trickle through, right? But it happens because we're human. Well, with Will, while he was messing everything up, he could have done two things. He could have stormed off the stage and say, I'll never do this again. Or he could work through that mistake and use that mistake as an opportunity. Well, as legend has it, according to what I read, while he was fumbling with his rope, he said, well, you know what? A rope ain't so bad to get tangled up in if it ain't around your neck. Well, the crowd loved what he said, and they started laughing. And in the meantime, he fixed up his rope, finished the trick, and went on to the next thing. And with that mistake, though, he found out that the people liked his commentary. So much so that he started to add it into his act. And Will Rogers actually became more known for his, funny humor and satire of his own rope tricks than he was for his rope tricks, right? We're going to make mistakes in our lives. We're going to make a mistake today. We're going to make a mistake maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime this month, but we make mistakes. The thing is that we can't let those mistakes keep us down. We need to rise up and say, hey, you know what? I think I'll be able to do this. Use a time where you had a miscue or a mistake and use it as an opportunity and not an obstacle. Proverbs 24:16 says this, for though the righteous will fall 7 times, they rise again. Okay? Proverbs 24:16. For the righteous will fall 7 times. We're not righteous because of what we do or say. We're righteous because of the blood of Jesus, right? What has washed away all my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus, the hymn says. So when Jesus died for us, he made us righteous and shed his blood so that when the Father sees us, he sees the blood over us, right? So the thing is that we make mistakes. We're going to fumble. We're going to lose our way. We're going to say and do things that are not really supposed to be on the script. But at the end of the day, we know that we could turn our mistakes into opportunities to learn. So I want to encourage you today, don't let your mistakes bring you down. Instead, I want you to look at what God can show you through these mistakes or through these times and see the opportunity to build and see the opportunity to grow and see the opportunity to mature. Look, we're going to continue to make mistakes. I'm going to make some mistakes today and probably later on this month. But I know that I don't have to stay down every time I make a mistake. Now listen, I don't want you to be confused that I'm, being light on sin or saying, oh, that's okay, you can keep doing that. No, what I really mean is that the challenge is for us to continue to move and continue to pursue Christ in this journey. Remember, right? We want you to know that you could take that mistake and turn it into an opportunity.